All right. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? I'm Paulo13, here with Frantic. This is the Get Down podcast. Special shout out to our sponsors, Mezcal Agua Santa, keeping us drunk before this episode. Also, Dragon Energy, 902 Lit Clothing. Thank you very much for your support. We love y'all, motherfuckers. Today, we actually got a really motherfucking exciting episode. Because this is generations of fucking hip-hop. Like, this is wealths of different knowledge coming together, which is really, in my opinion, what the culture is about. So, let's introduce you guys.
Ghettosocks, Dropping Science, Backburner, Sipset.
Alpha Flight, Grand Wizard, Ghettosocks.
Yeah, they already know.
Fucking with the design, with the music, with the fuck, you name it.
Gonna hurt.
All right, that's the OG.
Now
Let's get to the YGs.
the YGs.
Young bucks.
Well, I'm Kye Clayton, LDN. Let dreams be noticed. That's me. That's what I do every day, all day.
Luke Berryman, LDN Records.
I love the pause, yo.
Luke Berryman,
Berryman.
LDN Records.
Motherfucking right.
I'm Frantic, I'm always here.
Always here.
Frantic got a couple mezcals in him before he shot this episode, so get ready for talking to Frantic.
Smiles, baby.
No mic, too. It's gonna be so fucking fun, yo. I'm excited about this episode because, in my opinion, you guys are both significant for very different reasons. Like, maybe similar reasons, but like, your come up was different. And that's why I'm so excited to see this conversation take place, right? Because like, as an artist, there's always gonna be similarities, but when you're coming up, will like create differences, right? Like the hip hop game, when you were starting out, completely different than now, right? Like,
True.
like if we want to look at the most basic way it's changed, social media,
Definitely.
Big game
right? Like
changer.
the way you want to come up is different, right? Like, I feel like when you were starting out, it was like shows, maybe putting out like your little mixtape or album, right? And like trying to get in blogs or like local, like, Exclaim or The Coast or whatever. Whereas now, that seems less relevant to you guys.
True.
As like reaching out on the internet and like connecting with people from different places and building your audience that way.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So I guess one of the big things is like the difference between like hip hop, even when I was coming up, is like, oh, sorry, y'all.
There's a pizza here?
No,
Too bad.
they don't deliver till 3. What the fuck? So, all right, one of the biggest differences.
This is what happens when you give this guy
Too much drinks in the morning.
I woke up.
Agua Santa.
I woke up drunk and I just kept it going. No, but like, so like, even when I was coming up, is like the importance of coming up locally. You had to come up through the local scene.
Taking forever to get into this question. Like, I'm like, when's this interview
you should start
started?
with the introductions first.
We already did that.
Yeah.
No, but like, kind of get into history of two sides, and then
My nigga had that in there the whole time. You had that in there.
Where were you hiding that?
Just go on, what were you saying?
In the hoodie pocket.
No, all right. What I'm saying is though, like, so like, you would come up, like we would come up through the local scene. We'd gain local recognition from local DJs, other local artists, local fans, and then your fan base would build that way, right? Because we didn't have like the internet and shit where you could just reach out to people from like wherever, or it was like real young.
MySpace was a thing.
MySpace, like, people used to have rap battles through text over the internet.
That's crazy. What?
Yeah, oh yeah, text battles was like a thing.
Oh my
Not
god.
really though.
Yeah.
For his friends, they were.
Yeah,
Wouldn't it be
they
easy
were
though?
up on that.
Couldn't you just find lines, just whatever, and just beat them bags and get them
Copy and
bags?
paste.
Yeah. There was all sorts of bullshit. But like, what I'm saying is like, for like your guys' generation, it almost makes sense to reach out to people that aren't from your area.
Yeah.
Where you can reach out to somebody from the States or South Africa or England, and you can build a fan base there through just talking and like having the same shared interest in music.
Yeah.
Whereas we would have to come up through our area. and then expand from there and meet people, right? And I think that's one of the, this isn't even a motherfucking question, it's just like one of the biggest things that I find is different in hip hop. Like, I have a hard time with social media. I don't really like this shit.
Yeah.
The only reason I do it is because I'm an artist.
Exactly. No,
Right?
same
So, like,
thing.
I feel the same though.
Yeah. But the thing is, I feel like you guys being a couple years younger, you know how to use it better.
Yeah.
To your advantage.
We've always had it.
So yeah, we always had it. When I first got a phone,
That's what
I
I
had
mean.
Snapchat, I had Instagram when
So
it
it
first
just-
came out. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
Right? Like,
ingrained in
I
us.
remember I was 14 when Facebook became a thing.
Yeah.
And I remember making my account and being scared as a motherfucker that I was just gonna get found by like some people that were gonna take all my information, which I'm still worried about. And why am I turning with my back towards the camera? Fucking Mezcal Agua Santa. Thank you. But like, the relationship with social media is a really interesting thing for artists these days. Cause like sometimes it's not even about your music, it's about how you market yourself or promote yourself and your social media presence, right?
Well, yeah. Content is king.
I think content is king too. I'm down
So,
there for me.
Like, you have all these different media options, social media options. It can be overwhelming, you know, for someone, especially like you're saying, you have difficulty hacking it. But the key to it is just creating unique content for, you know, for the gram, for, you know, TikTok, you know, Twitter, whatever. Each one should have unique content. Because otherwise, you know, people that were watching for you, you know, you want to incentivize them to follow you on all these different platforms. But if you're just aggregating all your media straight through, so it's like, check out my new album cover, you know what I mean? And you have just the same thing plastered across everything, you know, they're gonna be like, oh, I'm sick of getting bombed by this cat. Whereas like, you know, here's a single, here's the album cover over here, here's like my new kicks or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, give them like a taste of different aspects of your world that you're creating.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
Yeah,
Well-
big thing I've learned is motivation, education, and entertainment. So if you can nail all those three centers of like social media networking, like you're set.
For sure. Yeah. Also, like,
up?
I don't know about a lot of people, but I find like my favorite artists, I love their music and shit, obviously.
Yeah.
But I also love them as a person. Even if I don't know them, I feel like I almost know them. And I
through
got
their
things
music.
I relate to. You know what I mean? Like this motherfucker pulling out a hamburger and eating it.
Just out the blue though, had it there, didn't tell no one.
But like that's not front.
forgot
That's just literally like, as long as I've known this mother, that's just him. You know what I mean? And
like that.
And like, whatever. I'm hungover. I'm hungry. I'm eating my burger during the interview. Fuck y'all. And like, just certain things you love about an artist, like that, their personality. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's so important to
Like
make
know the artist, like be able to just listen to them through their music, but you can get to know them through their music. Yeah.
Well, I think there's a much more longevity in like making music that's true to you instead of just riding a wave and playing to an audience.
That's what I try to do. I try to just stay as true to myself as much as possible. When I make my music for myself, it's true to myself as much as possible.
And the thing is about the balance, right? Is like staying true to yourself, but also being true to yourself and engaging people.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And like that's something we were talking about earlier. Is like I was talking about you. Is like I find like a lot of your solo work is different, like content or like different thematically than your collaborative work, right? And I feel like because on your solo work, at least like from what I find with me, is like I'm trying to tell more my story and what I know.
Yeah.
Whereas sometimes when I'm doing collaborations, I'll meet the other artist in the middle, or like I'll have more liberty to just, you know, kind of like flex in my rhymes. You know what I mean?
Like,
I'm not like
do more than you would usually do on something that's more to you.
Yeah, exactly. And like, you know, knowing how to collaborate is really important, right? Like, cause like, you know, if I'm gonna get any of y'all on a song, I'm gonna get you on a song, not just cause like I think it would get more recognition, but it's like cause you should be on that song.
Exactly. Like this song's meant for you if I want you to be on this.
Yeah.
So that's why I like with collaborations too.
Yeah, like on my album, I got a song called Deep Fried Pepperoni, right? I love pepperoni. And I reached out to this gentleman here, right? Cause like thematically, food has always been a big thing in his bars. You know what I mean? And like, I like heard the song and I was like, who could I hear rapping about this? Socks. It wasn't just like, you know, like you got a bigger name than me or like whatever. It's like this song needs your fucking
Perspective.
schwa schwa. You're like little like flair. You know what
No,
I mean?
that's like when I make music with him a lot. When I make a song and I know like I'm in his realm when I'm making this song, I know I need him on it. Like there's no way he has to be on this song.
And vice versa.
And vice versa. Like he'll make songs that are meant for me, but he'll just hop on it and then be like, you gotta hop on this. Like, yeah, I know you'll go crazy on it.
Does anybody ever ask you to do a song that you're kind of uncomfortable with?
I say no.
Well,
If they do, then we don't do
it. It depends. Like I like all types of music. So like
Yeah.
if I like the song or the beat or how it's going, I'll hop on it no matter what kind of genre it is or whatever.
Yeah.
Like what? During COVID, like during the pandemic, I hopped on like a reggae beat. Like the first time I went on like a dancehall type beat.
Yeah.
And I like the context of the song, I went on it.
But I just mean like maybe like content wise. So like for example, like my big example is like Jay-Z did Big Pimpin' with UGK.
Okay, yeah.
Right? And then later on, he was upset about the content of his bars and being like disrespectful to women or whatever. I don't know if he was just saying that to save face or that's actually how he felt. But has that ever happened to you where like somebody asked you to get on track or you wrote a bar and then like later on you just didn't feel comfortable with it the same way you did at the time?
For sure. So it just depends though. Like I also won't put myself in like a track that I'll write that like I know I'm gonna be in a situation where I'm gonna overthink that.
Yeah.
Or like if I know I can't write something that's gonna be true to me also on the track while I'm trying to go into your element, then I probably won't hop on the track.
Sometimes like taking opportunities is important, but knowing when to bow out
Definitely.
is important too. When like this isn't for me, you know. Thank you, but
Yeah, I mean, like, I think that if you have any, like, you know, worth as an artist, you're always going to be growing, and you're always going to be critical of yourself. You know what I mean? So, I wouldn't, you know, I wouldn't put it, I wouldn't question, you know, Jay-Z looking back on lyrics and being like, oh, I've outgrown that, or that was not a good look. Like, I constantly,
That happens.
you know what I mean? Like, you get older, you're more mature, your tastes change, you know what I mean? Your sensibilities, you become wiser in a sense, and you know it's natural to like want to.
I mean,
be
since
like,
then, Jay-Z's has had daughters and shit, right? So
Yeah.
yeah.
I think
exactly.
that would have like
Yeah.
a genuine. Like,
You just grow and
change
change.
you. It would
Yeah,
change.
What's-
grow and
things are gonna
change.
change.
What's
Yeah.
interesting about this shit, right, is like there's so many levels, right? So it's like this is where you were at, or this is what you said, or maybe you didn't even think about the implications of what you said.
Yeah.
You were just like writing bars, right? And then you grow as a person, right? And you like think and like you know you don't feel that way, even if you don't say it out publicly. But sometimes people hold that image of you, and they're
yeah.
unwilling to let go of it, right? And like it doesn't matter like that's not how you feel, or like you realize what it's wrong. It's like the thing about an artist is you make yourself so vulnerable, right? And
Exactly.
like sometimes people are really not understanding, or like you know what I mean? Like I've
Yeah.
said shit on songs that I'm like
You can't let
But
that
you
phase
also,
you.
but you also put yourself in a situation you're making music, so you know certain people are not gonna like what you're doing,
Yeah.
or they're
Of
not
course.
gonna understand. So that
and you put that out there.
you put that out there. So
Yeah.
like when I make music, I know I guarantee you're gonna say something that someone's not gonna like.
Of course, no matter
like-
what. Honestly, one thing my old man always told me is like, you do good, you do bad, somebody's always gonna have something to say about it.
Yeah.
Right? Like, no matter what, somebody's always gonna have something to say about it. So you just do what you feel is true to you, right? And if you fuck up, take accountability for your fuck ups, right? Like, honestly, like, that's one, everybody fucks up.
Yeah.
But if you're willing to learn, that's the biggest thing I look
Exactly.
for in a person, right? It's like, as an artist, as a person, as whatever, is like accountability. When you fuck up, Fran gotta go pee, drink a couple minutes.
you know, what'd be a good idea for this show is never give Frantic a mic, and just like whenever he says anything, just do subtitles for him. That'd be awesome.
That would be hard. That would be hard. That's a good idea.
But I think you need to have two cameras, probably one fixed,
A frantic
and
cam.
have like a frantic cam.
Yeah, definitely.
So you could cut to him and he'd be like, like,
the audio.
he'd be like, it's all about education. Like, think about this from like it would be a meme generator.
No, it
'Cause
really
it's
would
like-
be a meme
And
generator,
he's like,
yeah.
it's all about education, and you
For
know,
real.
like that shit, like boom, that's that segment.
Honestly, what I love about Frederick's my motherfucking dog. What I love about Frederick is he won't say shit for like
And then he'll
30
drop a
minutes,
bomb.
and then he'll drop like the jewel.
Yeah.
He'll drop the shit that you need
That's
to
what I'm
hear.
saying.
Like it's fucking.
That's
like,
what I'm saying.
He's like Silent Bob. He's like he
What?
just he,
Okay.
Well,
he
that's
won't, he
why I
won't say
said-
shit for half an hour, and then he'll drop the shit you need to hear.
That's
like,
why I was saying the Penn and Teller thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know which one of them is which.
I don't know.
The
I
short
think
one
the
doesn't
quiet-
talk.
yeah,
the short
that's
dude.
Teller.
I think it's Teller.
Yeah, that's Teller.
He doesn't ever say anything, but he speaks volumes in his actions. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
He's the one that like reveals the trick or like keeps it moving, or you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's an interesting dynamic that's sort of similar. Anyways,
No, well,
I'm just riffing right now.
Mezcal Aquasanta.
We need the subtitles for that one.
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck.
You can check the tape for what we were talking about there.
Yeah.
Just some ideas.
Didn't fret.
You know, I'm always giving.
I already know.
There's two
worry
types
about
of people,
wait,
right?
is this thing
As soon as an episode drops, I'll watch it, and I'll be like watch myself because I'm like, and I'm like, hey, yo, Frank, do you see the episode? He's like, no. But I watch that motherfucker as soon as it comes out. I'm like, oh man, you know, I've probably said some crazy shit. I guess Frank doesn't have that worry. He didn't say shit, so he's not worried about it. I'm tripping. I said something fucked up. He didn't say shit. That is a
Kevin
good idea.
Smith,
though.
thank you for Silent Bob. Now I know.
There you go. Just mention that.
That's wild.
Yeah, drop the jewel.
Connected.
Fuck. Yo, I had a whole ass point I was gonna get into.
Couldn't have been that important.
You forgot it.
No. All right. So one thing I find interesting. So like, we're Sipset, right?
Yep.
They're LDN. And how many
sir.
members do you have in your crew?
We got about 8 artists, and then we got 2 videographers, and about 4 or 5 producers.
Shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you like delegate the work? Like or I guess what I mean is like. So like with the producers, say you enlist a producer to do a track for you, right? Or they're like, I got a beat for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
You guys as a collective, would you still be like, I'm gonna pay you? Or is it just we collect the royalties together?
So usually we just collect the royalties together because we literally started this just because we were having fun. So then now we just collect it all together. So if my friend makes a track, makes the beat, and I do the tongue, I'll give him 50% because that's just us. You know what I mean? So we just collect it half and half.
It's just about the mutual, like,
respect
everybody.
and just making the music and enjoying and having fun.
Yeah, and it's like, you know, working with a lot of people is fucking hard. Especially when you got different personalities.
Yeah.
Even if you're all friends.
Yeah.
No, it is hard. It is hard.
Yeah,
sometimes.
it is.
The ego shit got nuts.
Yeah, and just scheduling. You know what I mean? Like life, you know, you got family, you got
Everyone
probably
at
work,
what,
you got
8
fucking
people, all
music,
kinds
you got
of
like
different
blah, 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 trying to get everybody together, like, you know. So like, in terms of like making an LDN album, is that something you guys got?
Well, we did the first one that dropped last year.
Yeah, but like
the next one is very
how
close.
hard was that to put it out?
So we recorded all in 2 weeks just before Christmas. So we all got our Christmas break. So I was in grade 12, something. So all of us got our Christmas break, and we literally stayed in his basement for 2 weeks straight, every single day.
Knocking tracks.
Just knocking tracks. We made more than what was on it.
Yeah.
But then some of them we just took off, or some
And
people
then
used their
on,
mixtapes and
on
stuff.
Christmas Eve, we mixed it.
We mixed it. On Christmas Eve, we mixed and mastered the whole thing.
See, that's
I mean,
fucking
that's
dope.
fine.
I love that shit, right?
Well, we were there, 10 to 4?
Right till we had to go to
And
my
till you had to
nan's
go to
house.
dinner, yeah.
Right up until like
is like-
the meal.
You know, when you're doing this music shit, especially with people you love,
Yeah.
you know, like you become a family.
No,
you know
for
what I
real.
mean? And like,
Yeah.
like even though it's Christmas, like you're still spending time with your family, like doing what
Yeah.
you need to do.
Nah, like I wouldn't even know him without music, but he's like one of my best friends now, based off music and then knowing who he is.
Yeah.
Me and him talk more than music now. It's not just about music.
yeah,
Yeah.
but that's where it
tough.
began.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's like such a beautiful thing, you know, like when we met in Newfoundland. You know what I mean?
Word.
Like I knew him. He had no clue who the fuck I was. I was just some like little motherfucker. I was some little motherfucker. I was like, you know, I was like recognizing him across the bar. I went out. I was like, you know, I've been watching like your shit. And I've been a fan since like a young age. You want to have a drink? And I'm coming up. My set's coming up soon, so maybe stick around. You know what I mean? And then we took the shot, and then like over the course of that weekend, just like getting to know each other as like artists and people, like
Yeah.
we just were like, I fuck with you as a person, like, you know what I mean? Like I fuck with your art. It's one thing to fuck with somebody's art and then fuck with them as a person.
Exactly.
Right? And like that's like I've made so many friends through this music shit. Like even people that I started out as my rivals, right? Or like people I'd rap battle and then we'd have beef and then we became friends over it. And it's like is really interesting about like the healing power of music,
No,
or like
for
the
real.
connectivity of music.
How much people I met in the last like 2 years, like rapping, it's just crazy.
Yeah. The thing about this shit though is it's crazy because you meet a lot of good people and you meet a lot of shady motherfuckers.
No, you do too, yeah.
Right? And it's really hard to like sometimes to distinguish the two. And sometimes it gets muddled, like it's like business and like so crazy is like
Definitely.
I think it's really important to surround yourself with people that you just genuinely fuck with.
Yeah, you gotta have the good positive energy.
But
around
sometimes you gotta compromise. And that's just
That's life.
Or not.
Don't compromise.
Don't.
I can't be
I feel
compromising.
that. I feel that response, man.
There's no reason to.
Yes.
Why would you?
Well, I mean, I think that there's always gonna be, situations where you're in a room with other people that you may not necessarily like want to go and have breakfast with, but like,
Oh yeah.
you gotta build or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta play nice. You know what I'm saying? And,
Yeah.
Or like, you gotta roll with the punches, or like if it's a business opportunity and money's at stake. I'm not saying
I know what you mean.
No, I know what you mean.
there's a difference between being like cordial with somebody and like professional
Yeah.
and then really fucking with somebody.
Yeah, no, I know.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Say I think your steez is weird, but everything in the contract's looking right and you're offering me 10 grand to do whatever, right? And there's nothing that I'm like morally against. Like you're not somebody I'm morally against. They did some fuck shit that I can't fuck with. But like I don't know. I'm
Yeah, it's
iffy
all
about
about
you.
reading vibes.
Right?
If they're giving
But
me a
that's
check.
10 grand that I can
If
use.
they're giving me a check.
That's
Knowing
10
where you're
grand.
at, right?
That's 10 grand I could use to feed my loved ones or to further invest in my music so
Yeah.
that I don't have to
Yeah.
fuck with you in
No-
the future.
no questions.
So like it's really like, I guess one of the big things for me is like my homie Glenn, who's one of my friends. He's like my big homie. We were friends since I was like 14. Shout out Glenn. He produced my first project.
Yeah.
Glenn's fucking phenomenal.
We were at the mall one time.
What up, Glenn?
Shut up, Glenn.
Shout out Glenn. I don't even know Glenn. But shout out Glenn.
If you don't know Glenn, you should get to know Glenn. Because honestly, fucking real dope. It ain't always pretty, but it's always real. That's all you expect from Glenn. Alright? It ain't
Shout
always
out to
pretty,
Glenn.
but it's always real. We were at the mall, okay?
Who?
Me and my homie Glenn.
You even said his name. Shout out Glenn all the time. You're talking to
Nah, you shouldn't smoke a bagwood before coming to the sesh.
I'm just fucking with you.
So we're at the mall. We're at Halifax Shopping Center, right? And we're walking by Abercrombie and Fitch or American Eagle, right? And Joey Badass is like on this big billboard for American Eagle, rocking all this shit. And I'm like, cuz I would never like, what the fuck, Joey Badass? Like that's not
Yeah.
your steez. Like I wouldn't fuck with that. He's like, I was like, I would never do that. If they ever offered me that, I would never do that. And he's like, he looks at me, he's like, you're a fucking idiot. He's like, if they offer you 200 grand to wear that motherfucking denim jacket, and then you can use that fucking 200 grand to fund like your people
make
and
your
actually
dreams,
build
man.
things,
Yeah.
you're gonna do that
Oh
shit.
yeah, for
And
sure.
the
Because
thing
that's
is-
not like a real big sellout.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
You know what I mean?
People
It's
in
not
there
like
don't even know
going
who that
against your
is.
morals or
They're
values.
not even
Like,
gonna
And
know
if
who it is
anything,
in
like
American
you're
Eagle.
getting people
Yeah.
that are buying that brand to listen to Joey Badass's morals and like listen to his music, and he has something important to say. You know what I mean?
Really important to say. He's one of my favorite for sure.
So like, it's not compromising what he has to say. So like,
Yeah.
as long as any deal doesn't compromise like
your
voice,
values and your morals.
Who you are.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I mean. I would like if somebody offered me $1 million to do some shit that I was morally against. That's a different story.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's
But the real question is, are you taking that million though? Are you really gonna think about it? Like, what if it was something like not too bad? You taking that $1 million?
I mean like
I would stay in a haunted house overnight for that.
yeah, I would stay on it.
I don't want to work.
But like, I mean
It's real cat face.
it depends. Like
And
I'm a very strongly principled person. Like the things I believe strongly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's the vibe I get from you.
Yeah,
Yeah, same.
like whatever I feel strongly. So like I can't go against myself.
Yeah.
Do you know what I
respect
mean?
that.
Like I can't. So
then
like-
again, I know you'd be willing to do some dirt for a large pizza.
Or some more mezcal.
Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. When you're saying dirt, it's dirt by other people's standards. It's not
Exactly.
dirt by my standards.
Yeah.
So that's morally okay with me.
One man's trash is another
another
man's
man's-
treasure.
What was that? When doors got closed, I found a window and climbed it.
There you go.
You know?
Yeah.
It's like, but like, yeah, I'm a strongly like principled person. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you know, and there's like differences between like legality and principles. Like, you know, I smoke weed. Even when weed was illegal, I smoke weed proudly. Fuck it. You know what I mean? Like, cause I'm not hurting nobody.
Yeah.
Right? The fact that it's illegal is just bullshit. Right? But that's different than like hurting somebody unwarranted or like, you know, like spreading some shit that's a lie that will end up like hurting people.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, I'm not with that either. I feel it. That's why when I was in high school, I stayed quiet. I said something to the wrong person. Everyone knew, and it just was something that people didn't need to know.
Yeah. And like in this city, you know, in the world in general, especially with
Yeah.
social media,
Oh, but
shit
for
can
me,
just
in
get
this
out.
city,
But in this city,
It's bad. If
Like-
someone, it's just bad.
like, yo, it's like a big game of telephone. Like, one person hears one thing, they tell
It
somebody else,
travels.
the whole story gets fucked up
real.
and switched. And it's an interesting thing as an artist, right? Is like exposing yourself. It's different between what you do in your music and how you live in your life.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know exactly.
But it's like, it's an interesting dynamic, like how people will like equate the two, you know what I mean? Like sometimes I'll say something in a song that's just like I'll write a song about being like angry, right? And I'll be like going back and people will be like, he's fucked. Like, but it's like, no, I'm just expressing this
myself.
emotion.
This is how I feel during
You know
this
what I
song,
mean?
the
Like, this is like
feeling,
how I express myself in a healthy manner.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Everybody relates to that. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm fucking drinking this Budweiser. Did you start writing music? Did you have a goal in mind when you started writing music?
I didn't even want to be a rapper. I was gonna be a producer.
Yeah?
I'm not even lying. Grade 9, I started making beats because I saw my friend making beats for fun. So I was like, that's cool. Download the FL, got that for free, you know, cracked version. And then when I started
What
making
made you switch?
What made me switch? So I started making beats and no one rap on the beats. So who
Yeah,
else was gonna
too.
rap on the beats? But I also, when I was younger, I wrote poetry.
Okay.
So like I won a couple competitions in grade 5 and 6. So I had a net, like I felt like I could do it.
Yeah.
I just didn't, it wasn't like the first thing I
It
wanted
wasn't
to do.
Yeah.
And then that's when I started rapping. That's when I came up with my first song, Family Auction. When
True.
I sampled the same sample Jay-Z used actually for 444.
Okay.
I forget what
was
song
the
it is.
story of
What song
OJ?
was it?
Not that one.
I forget what song it was on 444. It's one of the last ones, but I sampled the exact same song you used, so I could just make that. Cause it's like that was the mood I was in.
The thing is, being a producer and being a rapper are two different mentalities, right? Because being a rapper, you're up front, you're getting the attention, like you're center stage, like you're putting yourself out there. Producer, you're kind of more in the background. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know
like,
what you mean.
so like, did
It's
something?
shifting though. It just depends who you are. I feel like there's producers that we all know now that are like,
Like really, really known and like
yeah,
this
do you
and,
know what
like
I
back
mean?
then, probably in, like the 90s, you wouldn't really know some producers like that.
Well, the thing is, like, you're known,
Yeah.
but it's not always your face out there.
I guess, yeah.
Right? It's not you on stage.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what I mean? Like, you're known and you're known for how dope your shit is, but like, you can be dope in the background.
Yeah.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Whereas if you're a rapper, you're the one saying shit. You're the one that's telling your whole life story.
Story and talking.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Right? And like, you're in everybody's grill. Like, the mentality has to be different.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm an egotistical motherfucker. You know what I mean? You're not putting me in the background. Like, I had to be a rapper.
I mean, like,
You know what I mean? Like-
when so when I learned and started making beats, like I make a lot of my beats for all my friends in the collective now. Like this year when a lot of mixtapes come out, I'll have like five tracks on each mixtape type for producing. But like, it's just me passing on. Like, I want to teach people how to produce in my group. So then, like, for me, when I produced, they made my music better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like 100% better for me. Like just being able to make the beat, okay, I can add this. Oh, now I want to take this up when I say this bar. And I just know how to do all that
Learning
stuff
about
myself.
how you want
And-
yourself to sound
Exactly.
is very important.
And you can make a beat for you.
Yeah.
Like, you can create the whole vision. And I just
Exactly.
started producing recently, and just like understanding, even like I'm not very good, like just the basics of how structure is, like helps you.
No, it really does. Even
Develop.
the structure,
Most
off
definitely.
rip. As soon as I first started producing, I started rapping. It's like that was the first thing I did though. So I never started rapping and then started making beats. I started making beats and then rapping.
Yeah.
So I already knew the structures. Like I've been laying those songs
Yeah,
for the
because
last.
there's a big difference between like making songs and rapping. Like
Yeah.
it's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah, I started making songs pretty much when I started. And I actually studied music for what? So in grade 9, before I released my first track in grade 10, in grade 9 I studied all the 90s music, all the 2000s music, and basically just every rapper for like a whole year before I even started like making music myself. So I started like writing rhymes.
Just knowing what a bridge is just sets you apart from a shit ton of rappers.
Yeah.
And like honestly, that's like
Or
from
counting
like
bars.
Or,
yes,
counting
yes,
bars. Yeah.
yes, counting bars is huge.
It's got 68 bars.
I couldn't count bars forever. I'd just be like, I'm done. Like, or I just keep rapping.
See, but that's what I when I produce, because I know when I'm making the beat, I know when I want the
know when
chorus
it's-
to come in the structure
Yeah.
so I can count the bars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
And also coming back to the producer rapper thing, like I've always been a fan of Gangstar, and like I think that group is an example of where like the producer and the rapper work together harmoniously, but like in a lot of ways, like DJ Premier overshadowed Guru. Like people would just like know a primo beat, like it would just be so distinct.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it would stand out in a whole mix of tracks, like any like radio mix, you know that's a primo track. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So
I do agree with you, but I guess the way it is it's different.
yeah.
Right? Is like, you know it's a primo track based on the merit of the work and like what kind of samples he uses, and you like really respect
Well,
it as being
the
dope.
aesthetic, yeah,
But
the
as
aesthetic.
like, you know, when they're on stage, Guru or Premier's in the back DJing,
Yeah.
and Guru's in the front rapping.
Yeah.
And like Premier might say a few words between sets, but mostly it's like,
Yeah.
even though the
he's not sa-
contribution
yeah.
is equal.
Yeah. Well, even though he's not saying a lot, like Preem doesn't need to. You know what I mean? Like he does engage with the crowds at his shows and whatnot. He's very vocal on the mic, and you know he's doing cuts and like he's interacting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So.
And it's a very important part of the
Oh
set.
yeah. Yeah. It's
And
incredible.
finding your unique like sound or style, like even like Timberland in a more like pop center, like you know when a Timberland
Yes.
beat comes on.
Yeah.
For
Exactly.
sure, you know.
Yeah.
when
Or like,
Timberland
you know,
is.
like there was this point in time where like Timberland started fucking just dropping a couple joints with Nelly Furtado. And it was after Nelly Furtado started like dropping off a little bit, and it like
He
revamped
did her whole album.
Yeah, and it like revamped her shit and like engaged him with a different audience than he ever would have been with before.
Yeah, been a part of it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I think he didn't he like launch her career? Like
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I thought that.
Yeah.
Well,
she
I
was
remember
like,
she had
"Yeah."
one joint that was big before, and then she kind of like dipped off, and then she came back with the like promiscuous fucking
Okay.
girl or
Yeah.
whatever. Anyways, it's
Oh yeah, Mystery Girl,
Yeah.
whatever it's called.
Promiscuous.
No, I did edit to that back in the day. I did like an edit to that song. That's the reason why I know that song.
Yeah. You give me the loot, you put the hot dog down.
You gotta move around.
You gotta be in. You're getting instructed by.
Shit.
Oh my God, Sheldon's helping us.
Shout out to Mezcal Aquasanta. If you want to have fun, drink that shit. If you want to order a pizza before 3 p.m., call somebody other than Randy.
Oh my God, Randy.
No, what?
I just
Shots
joking.
fired.
I got mad love for Randy, yo. But, you know, I'm hungry.
You know what? You should have just made arrangements earlier.
I should have just came with the burger in my pocket.
Yo, I keep it tucked.
Sounds like I keep that motherfucking thang on
Keep
me.
that on you.
Creeping down a Grickler with something in the jacket.
Keep it on the hip.
People always worry about my dietary habits.
Got 3 or 4 the McDoubles in your pocket or something.
Is that wrap it up? Are we getting a wrap it up? Yeah. Okay, sweet.
Are we gonna wrap it up?
Well,
Man, I got
thanks for
mad
coming out to Paulo's thoughts.
You know,
Didn't follow his style, so hey.
Damn.
I
Shoutouts to
we're
Glenn.
combining 2 episodes.